railguns. If she'd had one more primary attack, 3-4 seconds max, she'd have torn through one of the dragoons, which presented an enticing target. Fontaine had thought she would, had only realized too late that his counterpart had exhausted all ammunition. And then pulse weapons caught Medusa in enfilading fire, a final devastating attack that tore through already weakened armor. It was over in an instant. The human ship continued, but in pieces. Fontaine shook his head to clear it of the violent image. Word soon came from below, from engineering, defense systems, and engines. Good news for once. Fires out, airlocks sealed. The containment field on the engines had held following the forced plasma release. All guns online. Fontaine cut the line and stopped staring at the view screen long enough to glance at Bisset, who was breathing heavily, but didn't seem like he was going to throw up again.
"I am sorry, sir."
Bisset glanced around, as if looking for a towel or something to get the mess off his uniform.
"You can clean up later. I need status on the ammo stores."
Bisset managed a nod.
"The tertiary rail has 11 seconds left at max burst. The secondary has 37 seconds. The primary is empty." Empty? "Yes, sir. We fired the last primary ordnance in an attempt to shake Black Widow clear. Black Widow had extra primary last time I checked," Fontaine said. "We'll equalize stores when she arrives." "She should be here by now," Gautier said.
Alhauthi, Fontaine thought, sending her a silent plea.
"Come through. Just come."
His hand went to his skull before he recognized the gesture, and he probed at a lump of bone above and behind his right ear. The scars ran in grooves where the medical facilities on Titan had regrown portions of his skull, transplanted hair, and stripped out alien neural networks. An inadvertent shudder worked through him. How was it that he and Alhauthi were the only captains to survive, the only ones who'd carried the enemy's implants in their skulls? Could it be? No, impossible. Scorpion and Black Widow had been attacked just as savagely as any other. It was the universe's idea of a cruel joke. The three men stared at the main view screen in silence. There had once been 5 men and women on the bridge, plus relief officers. But 3 months ago, the humans on their sister ship, Centipede, had been killed in a boarding action by enemy decimator units. When Centipede was recaptured, the Terrans were forced to share out crew from other surviving ships to keep her in the fight. Scorpion had been operating short-handed ever since, and worse still, Centipede was long gone. Those crew who'd gone over, dead. 2 secondary screens showed shadowy figures gathering into formation in open space near the system's gas giants, and a second, smaller force emerging from the moon of the rocky planet closer to the star. Both forces were heavily cloaked, and Fontaine couldn't hit them with active sensors or they'd track him too easily. They were far enough away, and he had other worries closer at hand. Specifically, what about the enemy carrier and dragoons from the last system? Would they chase Black Widow through? And if so, how much distance could the humans gain before the enemy materialized? But first, he needed Zakia Alhauthi and Black Widow. Then, when he knew his strength, he could plan to survive another day. He'd been doing that ever since leaving on this desperate mission. Survive one more system, then figure out what to do next. Always one more system.
"Come on,"
he said, this time aloud.
"Come through, you idiot. I need you here."
Nothing. And then, when he thought it was over, when he'd given Black Widow up for dead, she materialized. Long, hungry, and lethal-looking, she hung above Scorpion and off port. The 3 men on the bridge let out their breaths in a collective rush of air. The Stinger-class warships had all been named after venomous creatures on Earth. Scorpion, Black Widow, Medusa, Centipede, Diamondback, Fer-de-Lance, Tarantula, and Copperhead. But Fontaine always thought they looked more like predator fish. Barracudas, to be precise, with the railguns as spines on the back and a toothy mouth-like weapon system up front to discharge cataclysm bursts against Adjudicator carriers. Together with 2 Gorgon-class warships, this small squadron had defied the quarantine and burst into the gateway system, where they found an enemy star fortress and its dragoons. The enemy was caught by surprise, unprepared and out of position. The Terran fleet had gutted the enemy carrier, savaged its dragoons, and fled. The next encounter, they knew, would be another matter in